All right, Damonte, start out basic. First thing this time of year, how exciting is it just to get back in the swing of things, fall camp, and then the season's less than a month away?
It's very exciting because, we've been doing a lot of weights, lifting weights, running, and, everything with the team. And it's been a whole bunch of back and forth, you've been yapping. So it's about time to put the pads on now.
And then for you, last year when you came in, there was a ton of expectations. Obviously, Antoni Miller was gone. You were the new number one guy. You were the guy everybody was looking at to be the top dog. You proved to everybody that you could do it. Expectations are even higher this year. How do you handle that?
I feel like I just take it one day at a time, remain humble and keep God first. And I feel like everything else is just going to fall in line.
So you went over 1,000 last year, had 7 touchdowns, one of the few receivers in Memphis' history to go over 1,000. What's that honor like to you to be one of those guys?
It's very, very great. I didn't know about that until after the fact. I didn't hit the 1,000 mark, and they told me about it, and I was really just in shock. Coming from being a red shirt, hurting my knee, playing behind Aunt Miller and all of that, to being one of the receivers that'll go 1,000 years in their first season. It was just a great feeling.
And you talk about chemistry with Brady White. We talked about it with him earlier, and he said he kind of had to learn on the fly with you guys because he got here pretty late, had to get in through the spring and try to get acclimated to playing with you guys. Talk about your chemistry with Brady and how that's grown from the end of last season until now going into fall camp.
I think it's grown a lot because we had way much more time to find each other and learn each other and see how each person play. Like you said, when he first got here, we didn't really have that much time. You know what I'm saying? We just kind of jumped in, and boom, the season was right around the corner. And but this year we had like that long period from last year to the end of the season and to now to get chemistry. And I feel like we've been getting the real down peg lately.
And then for you, coming into this season, like I said, there's expectations again. Obviously, that's just part of it. But what have you worked on to take your game to the next level?
What I've been working on mostly really is getting in and out of my routes and taking care of my body. I've been feeling like that was really, I had to take care of most because everything else I did, I don't want to drive and, understanding that, well, this is what it takes to get to the next level or to be that type of receiver. But I left out another thing, which was taking care of my body. And I feel like I've been doing that, a much more better job on that lately.
And then last year, I think, especially towards the middle of the season when I think teams really started to see how well you were doing and the chemistry that you and Brady had, you drew a lot of double teams, and it was difficult for Brady to get the ball to anybody else. The receiver group as a whole this year, more experienced, and got some new guys in. Do you think there will be more double teams this year? Do you think it'll be helped out more this year? What is the landscape of the receiver group looking like?
I think they probably come out doing the same thing, doubling me, but I feel like the receivers we have now, they won't be able to do it for long. You know what I'm saying? Because the guys that we have are the same guys from last year. They just know the playbook way more better now. And it's about, if they was to double me, then they're leaving 2 great receivers open, Pop or either Anthony or KD.
And then a guy that I think Coach Norvell's talked about a lot and that throughout the spring really showed flashes is Antoni Gibson. He had a good spring last year, but said he really was having trouble adjusting, and then this year looked like he's ready to take the next step. If you get a guy who's, 6'2", 220 pounds, you're 6'3", so you got 2 big receivers on the outside. If he does take that next step, how difficult is it to defend Memphis' receivers this year?
It's going to be real difficult because, we still got the RPO, run pass. And so either we running or when we ain't running, we passing it. And if they not throwing it to me, then they throwing it to AG or KD or Pop. And it's just got a lot of weapons around the field that we can use now, And with guys coming in, we're getting healthy. And that's really going to be a problem for a lot of defenses.
And when you think about your journey, I know you've had a very different journey. It's been long, but here we are. So when you take it back to high school, committed to LSU, and then you end up here, and then finally have that season last year. So walk me through that and what this process has been like, and how you've really come out on the other side and become the person and player you are.
All right. So coming out of high school, I didn't have no offers. Coming out of high school, but going into my senior year, I didn't have any offers. I went to 3 camps. I went to LSU camp. I didn't get the offer. Then I went to Alabama camp, and I did real good over there. And they was talking about offering me. And then I came back and went to another LSU camp, and I had finally got the offer. So after that, I had committed. You know what I'm saying? And I was going through the rest of the season as committed to LSU, and then I was running track. And we got the regionals, and I was triple jumping. And on my last jump to put me in regionals, I already had the jump, but one of my homeboys, he had jumped a further jump, so we was competing, and I just wanted to compete with him too. And I had jumped, and I tore my meniscus. So that kind of pushed a lot of my offers back when I had did that. And then my ACT score was a little low in my grades. So I ended up getting a good ACT score. I made a 22, and they had held off on me for a long time. And LSU had kind of backed off. They wanted me to go to a JUCO, but I wasn't really feeling going a JUCO route. And then so I decided I was going to switch and go to Bama. And they had ended up giving all of their scholarships away too. So I was at like a stage just sitting there and trying to figure out what I was going to do, hoping another school call. And it's probably now first week in school, and everybody done started, everybody out of camp, and the season's gonna start. So then I get a call from Coach Johnson, who was a coach at Tulane when I had went to one of their camps. And he called me and told me that Coach Navarre had wanted to take a chance on me and give me a red shirt, which was I was looking for a red shirt. And then that's when I came up here.
So then you look at that journey. Like I said, it's unconventional. It's not typically what happens. How much motivation do you draw from people pulling offers? Now, obviously, it's because of your need, not because of what you were doing on the field, but for teams not trusting you enough to come out of that injury and be the player that you once were, and then Memphis taking a chance on you and giving you this opportunity, and like I said, now here we are.
Yeah, I took that personal. I did, because I feel like, you know what I'm saying, if you believed in me enough to give me that offer, you should have stuck beside me that when that happened, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, and I feel like God knew what he was doing, and it wasn't the time for me to go to that. But I definitely play with that chip on my shoulder, not knowing that, you know what I'm saying, I'm back, and teams did miss out, but it is what it is, and I just make everybody who we play pay for it.
So now that, after last season, you're on the map now, people know your name, you're considered one of the best receivers in the American. Can you take that next step? What is it that helps you take that next step to not only becoming one of the best receivers in the conference, but one of the best receivers in the country?
I feel like taking my game to the next level is making sure I do all the little things on the field that, other players not doing, finding out what really a DB tactic is and attacking them and being able to take advantage of that and being able to expose that DB on the field every time I play.
Something that obviously I think anybody that watches you, especially during practices, notice is that you're very outspoken, you're very outgoing, you're going to be loud, you're going to talk, you're going to have fun. Being able to bring that personality to the team, how much does it help you to just open up, be yourself, and then kind of let your teammates rally around you?
It's good because a lot of the players on this team are like, all of them are like real family. Like this is my family. So when I'm at home, I say whatever I want, do whatever I want, joke all day. So when I'm around those boys, I feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is real like sensitive in the locker room. You can't really have soft feelings around here because you're not gonna make it. So being around those guys, being able to say what you want to say, do what you want to do around them, and nobody really get upset about it, then that's probably really the best thing I feel about this team. Like, we real close.
We just talked to TJ, who, from watching pretty much every practice, I know he talks a lot of trash in practice, but he said he doesn't talk any trash in games. I find it hard to believe that you probably don't talk trash at games.
Who, me or him?
You.
Oh, I talk trash. In the game, after the game. Yeah, I don't. Before the game, you probably won't see me yapping. I probably won't even look at the other team too much. I don't got nothing to say until the whistle blow, and that's when we start. Because I want to get in your head. I want to see what you're gonna do. A lot of people like DBs like to talk. I know that, but I want to see what you're really gonna do.
For you, and a lot of guys, they have different reasons why they talk trash. For you, does it get you going, or do you just like getting in their heads? Which one of those is what?
It's both.
It's both.
Yeah, it get me going, seeing, because if I see you nervous, that's an advantage for me. Now, I know I'm in your head, and I know, like, if I do something, make a big play on you, and I start talking to you, and you put your head down, I know I got you the rest of the game.
And then when you start talking, do you feel like at that point, do you have to back it up? If you're saying all this stuff, you got to go out there and make a play.
I got to back it. You can't be talking and don't do nothing, you know what I'm saying? So I'll probably come out telling them, you know, what I'm finna do. Even if it's a run play, I'll just come off and blame them just to let them know, like, even though it's a run play, you still gonna get hit.
Like you said, though, if you see him hang that head, is it about to be a big day?
Oh, yeah, I already know. I know he's scared and he don't want no problems. So that's right there helping advantage in his own. Just knowing you inside of a DB's head and anything he do, you can dictate it by me saying something. And if I can do anything to weaken your game, I'm gonna definitely do it.